Flesk is a mix of architectural styles, and we are now at the entrance to Flesk Castle. So if we cast our mind back, we would have arrived by carriage up through the woods between here and Killarney up to the grand entrance of Flesk, a most ornate architectural feature. Carl, you mentioned earlier when we were chatting that this is the iconic image of Flesk. Can you describe it for us, please?
Thanks, Victoria. Yes, I guess here with the entrance hall and the entrance facade, John Colesman had the opportunity to have a bit of a flourish architecturally. So what we have is a Gothic style entrance facade, a pointed doorway. There used to be a huge limestone slab outside the door, and there's 3 beautiful large windows above lighting this double height entrance hall, which had a groined plasterwork ceiling above, I'm sure quite decorative, and the hallway inside was surrounded on 3 sides by a gallery. It has, now the external of it has suffered some destruction, but you can still really appreciate the craft in the local limestone carving, and you can see some of the windows from 200 years ago still survive. So it really is was a beautiful facade, and let's hope we can make it beautiful soon enough again.
So, Carol, I suppose the Flesk not only has given us an architectural legacy, but also a social legacy, which is often overlooked when we look at old buildings.
Yes, it's interesting. We should acknowledge that we're here recording within a few days of the centenary of August 25th, 1920, which at a meeting here in Flesk Castle, Flesk Valley Rowing Club was established. And that is a legacy that the McLeod family left along with the other members of that club at the time. And that legacy still is of huge benefit locally, and that club is going very strongly, which is great. So the McLeod family came in here about 1919, 1920, and through the generosity of Nicholas and Rose McLeod, we've had an insight into their life here, and that has hugely helped us through video and photo archives of the time, and that has helped our conservation work greatly in being able to see details of the building.
The grandfather, Jack McLeod, was extremely popular. He had a great character, and he was very generous. Anybody wanted anything, they only had to ask Jack Mac, and he gave it to them.
He would be involved in setting up quite a lot of clubs and things in Killarney. He was very much involved in the golf club, for example, setting that up, and another golf club over in Dukes, and rowing on the lake, Flesk Valley, or the Valley Rowing Club.
Oh yes, and his aunt.
Dad and his sister, right?
Yes,
No.
that's Nancy.
Oh, that would be Nancy, yes.
Standing at the front door there?
That's right.
Yes.
And
now, I have a photograph, whether you have it or not, of his father doing the same thing, but standing that side of the door.
Yeah.
Oh, that lovely dog. I mean, of course, I love my parents, but I mean, the dog.
for a 9-year-old boy.
For a 9-year-old boy.
That was in 1920 or something. I mean, that dog had long since
no, but I mean,
died.
it's a lovely dog.
This entrance facade is the side of the building that's showed in film, in photographs, and that down through history, whereas many other aspects of the building we have very little. We don't even have any photograph of the interior, whereas this facade went all over the world in beautiful photographs. The Calum Film Company used this facade, and it ended up in America on beautiful cinema posters. They filmed in Killarney, made about 20 or 30 films between 1911 1914, and several of those we know used Flesk as a location. So that's very interesting, the way architecture travelled even at those times.